The given RC passage focuses on courtroom movies. It says that courtroom movies are mainly concerned with one single theme, that is the difficulty of achieving justice. He begins by saying that such kind of movies put forth opinions about the complexities of justice, or some of them condemn courts for delays, the others praise them for different deliberations, for patient deliberations, some despise lawyers, and others glorify them. But few fail to stress that justice is an exacting goal reached only through arduous quests and multiple sacrifices. Right, then he alludes to a number of movies like Trial by Jury. He begins by discussing Trial by Jury and the Jagged Edge. Both of them depict miscarriages of justice. That is, the guilty is not the one who has committed the crime, or that the guilty is left scot-free. So in both the cases there will be miscarriage of justice. Then he talks about the Cane Mutiny, and then talks about uh, the difficulty in determining guilt in case the guilty is insane or mentally ill. And then he discusses Oxbow Incident, a courtroom movie that concludes on the that suggests that law is majestic. Then he discusses another movie, 12 Angry Men, through which he puts forth the idea that a lone but courageous individual can assure justice. The system may not be perfect, but it works well in the end, and it is a microcosm of the domestic process in which the search for consensus eventually leads to wise decisions. Then he goes about saying that there is a certain set of films that portray law and lawyers in a negative light, and he gives an example of the postman always rings twice, this movie. And then finally it concludes on this note. He says that courtroom films sometimes locate the obstacles to justice in society itself. So there are a number of obstacles to justice, and that's the reason that justice sometimes gets delayed, law gets becomes complex, etc., etc. So there are a number of these are all the reasons that that justice becomes exacting. So the obstacles that stand in the path of justice would be society sometimes, the other times the legal system, and a few times the practitioners of law, lawyers, etc. So in the long run, however, they usually show that the impediments are overcome, and that the actual how the actual either the actual malefactor is revealed, the intimidated juror gets revenge, the falsely convicted are released from prison, etc., etc. So now let's move on to the questions. The first question says the author mentions movies such as Trial by Jury, Jagged Edge, and The Star Chamber in order to illustrate which of the following points. So he refers to a number of movies the author, like Trial by Jury, Jagged Edge, The Star Chamber, etc. Why? In order to prove that miscarriages of justice is an earnest theme to translate on the silver screen. This is not mentioned in the passage. D says most filmmakers illustrated the miscarriage of justice theme because it reflected a trend in the American society at the time. Extraneous information not given in the passage. Most films believe that justice is an exacting goal reached after divine intervention. This is also incorrect, not there in the passage. Most films portray that justice is an exacting goal reached after much struggle. This is the theme of the passage, and this is the reason the author these are through these examples the author proves this main theme, that is achieving justice. Justice is an exacting goal reached after much struggle. The next question says which of the following statements is definitely false with reference to the Cane Mutiny as mentioned in the passage. Now let's move on to discuss Cane Mutiny. The author refers to the Cane Mutiny in the third paragraph. He says that the Cane Mutiny involves viewers in deciding issues of mental illness and culpability. How culpable is the criminal, is the person alleged of the crime, if he is mentally ill. It shows what is the sequence, what are the what does the movie portray? It shows World War II sailors agonizing over whether to remove the erratic Captain Queeg from command during a storm in which his bizarre behavior threatens to sink the ship. Now, at the trial, psychiatrists testify that Queeg, though paranoid, is sane. Only when the defense attorney hammers Queeg with questions about odd incidents does the captain's veneer of normality crack. The accused sailors are freed, but to the end, the degree of Queeg's mental illness and of their own guilt remains in doubt. So, by the end, also, it's not clear as to how much how much mentally ill is Queeg to have committed the, to have made this, to have to have played a role in the sinking of the ship, or is it the sailors, in spite of the fact that they are freed, how much is their guilt, right? So that is still doubtful by the end, till the end. Now the answers, options are: it is based on World War II. Clearly it is based on World War II sailors. The captain's bizarre behavior threatens to sink the ship. This is also given in the paragraph. C says Queeg's mental illness is revealed in the closing scene of the film, thus absolving the soldiers of all guilt. This part of the statement is incorrect, because the soldiers by the end are also not absolved of all guilt, because there is still doubt as to what is the degree of the soldiers' guilt in the sinking of the ship. So therefore option C is the correct answer. D says initially the psychiatrists testify that Queeg is paranoid but not insane. This is also given in the passage. So this can be eliminated. Option B can be eliminated. Option A can be eliminated. The correct answer is option C. Which of the following is not true about the film 12 Angry Men? Now let's read this paragraph which discusses 12 Angry Men. It says that 12 Angry Men, confining its action entirely to the claustrophobic room in which the murder trial is sequestered. So the trial happens in a claustrophobic room, and then goes about saying that the 12 Angry Men in fact mounts a powerful argument for the jury system, in which a lone but courageous individual can assure justice. The system may not be perfect, but it works well in the end, and it's a microcosm of the domestic process, in which the process for consensus eventually leads to wise decisions. So it says that it shows a system, though not it shows that the system, though not perfect, works well. This is given in the passage. Correct information. Second is, it shows efficacy of the domestic process. Clearly, yes. The third option says it shows how the search for consensus leads to wise decisions. True. It shows how a single individual can run a society, making a case for autocracy. This is incorrect. It does not make a case for autocracy. It does not suggest that one single individual can run society. It only suggests that when there are a number of people, when all the people together want to take a decision, generally what comes out is a wise decision. So option D is the correct answer. It's not true about 12 Angry Men. The given question on para summary deals with defining what ethics are. It says that ethics are supposed to provide us with moral principles or universal rules. However, then it goes about saying that there is a different definition of ethics for every person. So some people believe in the utilitarian definition of ethics, which is everyone is obligated to do whatever will achieve the greatest good for the greatest number. And there are some others who believe in Kant's theory of Kant's definition of ethics, which is everyone is obligated to act only in ways that respect the human dignity and moral rights of all persons. So there may be other definitions of ethics or moral principles, but the passage cites only these two. So therefore some apt summary of this particular passage would be option C. Ethics are a matter of individual choice. Whatever one chooses to be the moral guiding principle for the person, he or she can follow that, and therefore option C is the correct answer. Option A and B are incorrect because they talk about utilitarianism and Kant, which are only examples cited. They do not comprise the theme of the entire passage. D talks about the two theories that are discussed, and so therefore this is also not a holistic example. This is not a summary. This is not a proper summary, because it talks about only two theories. There may be other theories that people follow, and whereas the paragraph here cites only these two examples. So therefore option D is also incorrect.